Hello there, welcome to Parenting Hacks with Dr. Yanina. I am your host, Dr. Yanina, and I want to welcome you to episode number 6. And actually, episode number 6 is about connecting with my preteen and teen. But this is part 2 of a series of 3 parts. So if you have not seen episode number 5, which is when I go over my first parenting hack when it comes to connecting with your tween and teen, I encourage you to go back and check out episode number 5, where I give you an intro as to what is this series is going to be about. So if you haven't done so yet, I encourage you to just pause the video, go back to episode number 5 and check it out. So as I said, today is episode number 6, which is parenting hack number 2. And parenting hack number 2, when it comes to connecting with your preteen and or teen, is never stop showing affection. Seriously, never stop showing affection. And you're probably wondering, hey, obviously you do not know my preteen and teen when it comes to affection. And I understand, keep in mind that I have 2 of those in my house. So, the truth is that we live a very busy life. We're all busy. We have a lot of things to do. And, probably you're like me that I have to take my kids to music classes and soccer and all these different things that they're involved in. And it's busy. Most of the time we spend when it comes to being with our preteen or teen, and that's if they're not driving yet, is in the car, right? We're like Ubers. We are constantly driving them around town. And there's a lot of after school activities. But honestly, moms, there's not much time for physical connection. And that is so, so important. And it's true. Let's face it, as I said, we're always going from one side of town to the other, dropping off, picking up, and I understand. But at the end of the day, what usually happens, and maybe this is your home, maybe this is not, but at the end of the day, everyone gets home, they eat dinner, and disappear to the rooms, right? And as we continue to live these non-stop lives, we're giving our kids less and less big loving squeezes. And the truth is that when they're younger, it's super easy to do that, right? Most younger kids, they love hugs, they love kisses. It's true. When they get older, it's a little more challenging, but it's not impossible. That's something that I learned. That, for example, when my children, they were little, I could not stop hugging them and kissing them. But as they grew older, just probably like you, they began to show less affection, especially my son, more than my daughter. Yeah, you see, I was under the impression that tweens and teens, they feel grossed out when parents show affection to them. And I thought that they always feel grossed out. Every time, always. So God forbid that you show affection in public, right? But at least that's what I thought. And interestingly, my twin daughter, she loves to show affection and receive affection. She, whether it's private and public, she's okay with holding him, grabbing my arm around her. She loves hugs and she loves to be scratched. Like we can be walking, and if I scratch her back, we can be walking downtown Chicago, and I scratch her back, and she's like, "Ooh, I like this, I like this." Or if I scratch her head softly, she's like, "Oh, keep going, keep going." It doesn't matter where she is. And she's kind of a touchy-feely girl, but our son is not a touchy-feely type. He is not like that. Very different from my daughter. So you probably agree with me in that many moms, they feel disconnected with their child once they reach that preteen and teen years. I understand that's usually the case. But my point is this. Don't assume that your daughter or son no longer wants any type of affection. I made that mistake, and I'm going to say it again. Do not assume that your daughter or your son no longer, ever again wants any type of affection. That might not necessarily be true. So yeah, like I was saying, when my son was younger, I gave him hugs and kisses all the time. But then when he reached that age of 12, like many teens, he began to cut down his affection toward me, especially in public. And without even noticing it, I was also showing less affection toward him until I caught myself and realized that that's not right. Maybe he is cutting down on his affection, but that doesn't mean that I have to cut down on my affection. Because he's not showing me affection doesn't mean that I love him less, right? Doesn't mean that I have to stop showing him how much I love him. Just because he wants to pretend to be cool doesn't mean that he doesn't appreciate his mother's affection. And that's when we have to be very, very careful. Now, we have to kind of be careful as to how we show our affection. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but doesn't mean that we need to stop it because they are slowing down or they're stopping it. So this is what I have. I believe that as long as you're alive, it is never too late to make changes or adjustments. Maybe you just stop showing affection. Maybe you're like, you know what? I don't even want to touch him or anything, like hug him or give him a kiss or anything because I don't want to hear about it. But it's never too late to change. So I did change my course and then what I did is I pulled out of my sleeve a few tricks that were not going to stain his reputation or invade that personal space that they're always talking about. I did respect that he was no longer a young child. I noticed and that I had to go easy on the way I show my affection. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop doing it. I just have to go easy and be careful how I do it. And I have to do it in a way that I am not feeling her or him feel uncomfortable. That's the key, especially when in public. So this week, this is gonna be your action plan. And again, keep in mind that we're talking about how to stay connected with your preteen and teen during these years. And showing affection is one of the ways. It's just that you have to be careful how to do it. You cannot overdo it, but be careful about it. So this is the action plan for this week. Start that conversation with your child about this topic. Talk to them. Be willing to listen to what they have to say about it. I mean, keep in mind that you might not like what you hear and be okay with it. You gotta respect their wishes. Don't get defensive. Just listen, and respect their individual comfort level. And please, never, ever tease your child about that. Never, because never ever tease them. It's not a good thing. Don't embarrass them in public. Don't mock your tween or teen in public. Never. Don't try to do it. Don't give them like a huge hug in front of his friends to embarrass them. Please, let's don't do that. And if you do it, it's never too late again to change. I'm always talking about changing, tweaking your parenting style, because each time you embarrass your child, you're breaking their trust in you. Seriously. You're destroying their trust in you. And I know you don't want that. And maybe that's not your intention, but that's what happens when you embarrass your child in public. When you're trying to do something like show tons of affection to make them feel bad in front of their friends or their girlfriend or boyfriend. Please don't do that. Let's stop doing that. And, keep in mind that preferences might change. They might be at that age that they don't want much affection. And maybe a year, 2 years from now, they might kind of like dive around you and kind of gravitate around you because they need a hug and they need just to be sitting by you, just to feel your skin and your heat. Things change. Understand that. It's all about adjusting to their needs, because sometimes they don't even know what they need. So understand that too. So, and this is one thing, maybe your child doesn't want you to show him or her physical attention or physical affection, at all. And as difficult as this may be, respect the request. Show your affection in other ways. It doesn't have to be physical. It's all about showing affection, reminding them that you care about them, that you love them, that you want the best for them. So one way that you can do that without showing physical affection is to text him a nice message. Text them there or text her. It's all about, they're all about technology these days, whether it's good or bad, but that's what they are. You can say, hey, have an awesome day. Hey, good luck on your test today, or good luck on your game today. Hey, I'm proud of ya. Whatever it is, then show. If your kid is like, no physical affection, I'm not ready for this, I don't want it right now, then use technology to show them your affection. But again, keep in mind that things might change, so keep an eye on that. So maybe you are like me, that you became a little distant and disconnected, assuming that this was what your tween or teen wanted you to do. And if this is you, again, please don't make assumptions. And once again, to remind you before I go, this week's action plan is to ask your child. And in my books, Moms Don't Quit, one thing that I do in this book is I share tips on how you can find out what makes them comfortable and what makes them uncomfortable. And I also give you quite a few questions that you can ask your kid just to find out their preference when it comes to affection. So, and if you have not done so yet, you are welcome to join my Facebook group, Moms Don't Quit. And just go to Facebook, type Moms Don't Quit, and you will find that group. Join us. And in that group, I share resources and tools and links and different good parenting tips that we all need. It's all about evolving, it's all about tweaking, it's all about changing. And you gotta be willing to change to be the best mom you can be. So thank you so much for joining me this week. And I look forward to seeing you in my next episode, in which I'm going to share with you the third parenting hack when it comes to connecting with your preteen and teen. Until then, have a wonderful week. Take care. Bye.